Hey, y'all. Big Red. According to my watch, it is 6:30. Okay, now it's 6:31. Ethel, welcome. I was wondering if I was going to see you. I know I saw your message about what time this was going on. Yes, anybody can join my live streams. I do a videos with my members only people every other week, but I do a public live stream at the end of each month. So, welcome to the end of July. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome. What's going on? Let me know. I always am interested to see where everyone is dialing in from, as I like to say. So let me know where you're dialing in from. And apparently, Jack the Ripper is with us tonight. Jack the Ripper, thanks for joining. Bradley, hello. 3.5 hours south from me in Austin, Texas. You know, man, I think I said this last month. This is the first year in like 5 years we haven't been to Austin. I don't think we didn't go down there this year. Yet, yeah. Wyoming, that's awesome. Oh, Jack the Ripper's from Wyoming. Who would have thunk? Huh? I'm not frozen, am I? I don't think so. Okay. Louisiana. Gail, thanks for being here from Louisiana. That is awesome. Ethel, you're from Western North Carolina. That's awesome. I've been to North Carolina quite a few times in the past. Pasadena. Yeah, I don't know why. I think I was glitching a little bit. I hope it's okay now. 99 degrees. Figureheads dialing in from about the next county over from me. That's probably true. Jack the Ripper, the notorious Jack the Ripper says I'm glitching. If anybody else is experiencing that, let me know. My internet looks good. Jack the Ripper, it might be your side. I don't know. But then with the Ripper, you never know what's going on. If anybody else is having issues, let me know. If not, we'll just keep on rolling. So what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the end of the month Travels with Nick live stream. I like to do this once a month. I feel like it's a good way to connect with y'all. And the plan for tonight is I have my list per usual. And we're gonna go through some things. It's been a crazy time on the YouTube platform as far as creators go. I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go through the past month's videos, give you guys little bits in here and there, behind the scenes stuff, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up this coming week. And I'm excited for that. Anything else? No, I think that basically covers our night. Pennsylvania, welcome. That is my original home state before I moved down to Texas. But I will be going back up to Pennsylvania. It's been back, 2024 was the last time I've been up to Pennsylvania, to my parents' house, the house I grew up in, because we have a 19-month-old baby girl, and that kind of put a delay in things. So anyway, y'all, let's jump right in. Like I said, it's been a wild and crazy 2026 on YouTube for us as creators. And I'm going to talk, and I'm also going to kind of look at, your questions and this and that. So I'm just multitasking, you know. But anyway, it's been a crazy year. I don't even know how much I want to get into this because I don't know how much you guys would care, but and there's going to be changes coming with my channel. And I think you're going to start to see, I've already seen it happening, but there's going to start to be other stuff changing too. So the YouTube algorithm keeps updating. Basically what I'm finding out, and I finally got the answer yesterday, was the 10-minute video on YouTube is basically dead. YouTube as a platform is pushing so hard now to basically become the new Netflix. And more people are watching on TV. They want to take over the TV totally. They did it with cable. Now they're trying to do it with Netflix. So what are they doing to us as creators? They're basically forcing us to make longer videos, which is cool in a way. I mean, it's a lot harder. Sometimes, like for me, you know, it only takes maybe one night to edit a 10-minute video. It may take, I don't know, 5 nights to edit a 45-minute video, and also a lot of time, more time when you're out filming. But yeah, they're basically forcing us to do longer videos if you want your videos to succeed. So what's been happening with me and my videos for a while is I post them. They do great the first 2-3 days. And then by like Tuesday, boom, YouTube basically shuts them off, stops pushing them out. And I'm like, why is this happening? It's never happened before. I get big videos like my Lincoln, the video a couple back where I went to the Museum of Health and Medicine and I saw the his skull fragments and the bullet that was in his head, you know, that whole thing. That video was big. That had like 100,000 views in a week. And now it's like dead. But I found out it's because YouTube does not want these 10, 13, 14, even 15-minute videos anymore if you're doing the long form. They want 20 like minutes minimum. And I've also noticed with other people too, who are in my niche, I've noticed a while now, they're posting longer videos. You see some of the guys, they'll post, you know, maybe 35, 45 minutes is their new average. Gosh, I was watching a guy that's like kind of in my niche, kind of out, Tampa J. He posted the Jefferson Monticello tour like I did, but his was like 1 hour and 20. I'm like, man, that's a long video. But that's the thing. That's what we're kind of being like forced to go that way. So the reason why I'm telling you this is I'm going to be making longer videos. And my series coming up is not super long, but yeah, that's another thing too. I'll probably talk more about the shows. YouTube rolled out this new thing where there's shows now. They're basically, like I said, they want it to become Netflix. So instead of just playlists, because I don't think playlists are a big thing anymore, YouTube rolled out this new feature where it's like they're categorized as shows. And when you there's a couple rules with it. It needs to be like an actual series where you have like a intro episode 1, then episode 1 at the end leads to episode 2. Like in next week's episode, we do this and this and that. So there's like rules. You can't just put random videos into these YouTube show things. But it's really cool. I've only ever recorded like one full series before. And it was about 2 years ago when I did my Bonnie and Clyde 3-part series in Dallas. So like I tested it with that. And it looks so cool on the TV. It literally looks like I'm watching Netflix. And I got to like, when you put these videos into a show, and it, you know, it's available to you guys now. All you got to do is like, if you're watching on the TV or even on, you know, on a phone, go into playlists and it'll be shows right at the top if a creator has a shows. but it's so cool. It's I got to make 3 new thumbnails. There's a whole banner that's on the background. And long story short, that's what YouTube wants and what they're pushing going forward. So now with that being said, I'm not saying like 8, 9, 10-minute videos aren't going to get any views. They get those views like in the first 3 days. And then after that, YouTube, it like doesn't want much to do with them anymore. So they kind of just move on to the next thing. So I know there's a lot of comments coming in. So I'm going to just go through them. Where in PA? I'm originally from the Pocono area, Northeast PA. Washington State. I love Washington. The original house of Charlie Manson. You know what, Jack the Ripper? I have speaking of this whole thing. So I'm like going forward, I need to basically, the individual videos are kind of starting. It's the very beginning, but it's starting to become the end of what's YouTube wants going forward. So like all my videos now, my planning needs to be based around like series that I can make in shows. So when I go back to Los Angeles, I was like, man, I can't just do like this grave, that grave. They all have to be connected into a series. Like this guy right here. Yeah, I wanted to do his grave, Bela Lugosi, but now I'm like, what series am I going to make or show out of him? But Charles Manson, I have something in the works. It should be a pretty creepy but cool Charles Manson series that I plan to film later this year and should be out in 2027. I heard about the YouTube mess. Yeah. It's not just, it's literally everybody. Everybody's complaining about views and Dallas, PA. That is pretty cool, Bradley. Trover, I'm glad you enjoy my stuff. Thank you. More true crime stories, shows, series coming up. Bigger Red says, I like shorter videos because I don't always have time for a long one. I 1,000% agree. My perfect video, I'm not even joking. Even if I'm watching a video or I'm making my own videos, my perfect length is like 13 to 15 minutes. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy editing them. If you guys noticed, like in the last how many videos, I'm really focusing on like the cinematic storytelling of it and like the journey. And I'm not just saying, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. I'm taking you guys like, I don't know. I kind of try to make them like a mini amateur movie, if that makes any sense. That's my favorite. But Bigger Red, like I said, I'm almost like, YouTube's like, hey man, if you want to make any money from these videos and if you want us to keep pushing them, you can't make these 13-minute videos anymore. You've got to make 30, 40 plus. So that's where we're at today. Raider Dave is moving to DFW. That is awesome. Man, there is so many historic sites in Dallas. It's funny. People are like, what is there to do in Dallas? And I totally get that. But if you're into historic stuff, that's, honestly, like that's how my channel became what it is. Because I don't know, when I first started filming, I was filming, oh gosh, now this is like 6 years ago. I'm going on doing this. But when I started filming, I was just filming anything. My first couple of videos were an abandoned mansion in Philly that someone who died on the Titanic owned. And it's like the oldest Gilded Age mansion in the country. What's that called? I forget. It's my first video and it's still on the channel. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My third video, me and my buddy, one of my best friends, we went to the 9/11 Flight 93 plane crash site in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And I made a whole video on that. And keep in mind, this is like my third video ever, so it wasn't that great. But it immediately, they made me take it down because I was showing stuff that shouldn't have been on here. Plane wreckage stuff and photos and that. So YouTube didn't like that. But like I said, that was a long time ago. And then I went through this whole phase of I'm doing like half dark history and half travel stuff because like I love dark history, but my wife and I love to travel. And I was like, this is not really working either. And it's a lot of work. And then, I'm like, hey, I'm in Dallas. I enjoy like the JFK and the Bonnie and Clyde stuff. And honestly, that's where my entire dark history famous graves channel came from. It came from filming in my home city of Dallas, Texas, doing the JFK and Oswald stuff and then doing the Bonnie and Clyde stuff. And here we are today, and this is what I do. David Gilmore lives in Poconos, Pennsylvania. That is awesome. My parents are about 40 minutes from that exact area. Robert Randall, I see your comments almost every day. That means a lot. I like that you're my favorite, and this is just me being me, I guess. My favorite is when I see a new face in the comments that I've never seen before. And I know they're like binge watching my videos because they'll comment on this one, and they keep going. And that's like my favorite thing. So Robert, I'm glad you found my channel, man. I appreciate all your comments. That Mike Hume. What's up, man? Dude, you're in Scotland? Wow. Mike Hume is a channel member of mine, Beyond the Grave. Pretty sure Mike is from the Los Angeles area, but he's joining from Scotland. That is awesome. I've never been to Scotland. My wife's been there. I've been to Ireland. We drove like across the entire country of Ireland years ago before I was doing YouTube. So I have to go back there. John Wayne Gacy. Jack the Ripper says, do a story on John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, I was actually just talking about that today. I got to get to Chicago, though. A lot of that stuff's up there. People from Illinois in the house. Karen, welcome back. Karen makes a good point. Karen says, if you don't have time for long videos, put it in the watch later, pause and watch later. I actually did that today. There's a creator that I enjoy. Funny, it's weird. Like I keep tabs on the guys in my niche and like guys who I'm friends with and see what they're doing. So whenever they post a new video, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then like, if I like that grave or that location, I kind of make a note, like I got to get to this place, or, oh, that's where that person is. But a lot of the people that I actually watch don't even do what I do. And this one guy, he's like my age, but he's in a different field on YouTube. And he makes like 45, 55-minute long videos. And like, I'll watch it at night and then I can't finish it because I got to go to bed. So I'll watch it the next day. But Karen, good comment. New Orleans. I was supposed to go to New Orleans this year. I don't think that's going to happen though. You know what I'm mad about? I had I think the most famous creepy cemetery in New Orleans is whatever it's called, Cemetery Number One. Somebody I'm sure will correct me in the comments. And I had like all these stories there, and like there's this one thing I had planned because Nicolas Cage owns like a pyramid tomb in there, and I found out, I had all this list of videos that I wanted to do in the cemetery, and I found out that the only way you can get in there is if you are on a tour, and that's just not going to work with how I make my videos, because you got to like you go in on this tour bus, you get off, the group walks, and the tour guide talks for like an hour and a half, and I can't imagine myself filming how I film while on a tour. I guess you can always do like a famous graves tour, and basically I don't say anything and you hear everything the tour guide says, but it was kind of like a turn off of me wanting to go there. David, that was my first. I'm not a huge NASCAR fan by any means, but I've been to quite a few races in the past. That was my first race at the Pocono Raceway, and I don't even know if I should say this. That was a horrible first experience. I remember trying to think back. God, that was years ago. I remember Jeff Gordon won that race, and right at the end, we heard this. It started lightning, thunder, and we heard this loud crack, and they were making everybody leave the stands and go back to their cars immediately. And long story short, some guy got struck by lightning in the parking lot. And I haven't seen. It's weird because I do a lot of this stuff. I cover a lot of this tragic stuff in my videos, but I've never really seen with my own eyes like tragedy much, except I'll never forget this one. The guy literally saw the guy who got struck by lightning and like on the ground, like they're trying. I'm sorry if I'm going into too much detail and people don't want to hear this, but I just came to mind when you said the Pocono Raceway. And I'll never forget that. It was this big guy got struck by lightning laying on the ground, and like the paramedics are trying to like pump his chest, and I cannot get that out of my head still all these years later. And long story short, he died. But that's one of those things like you just don't unsee. Bandit the Cat is always sleeping. I'm here. Sorry, I dozed. Oh, you got summer cold? That sucks. Sorry to hear that. St. Louis Cemetery number 1. Thank you. I knew it was number 1 something. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to go through some, we basically covered. So after my series comes out, which is starting this Saturday, and if you guys notice, my videos are longer. Now you know why, and I'll probably say it again in next month's live stream because, like I said, I've been doing these 10 to 20-minute videos for years, and now you're going to see like a 45-minute Travels with Nick video and be like, what the heck? That's what's coming. So just FYI. All right, let's go through this past month of videos, and I'll give you guys some, not all, because I like to save that for my channel members when we do like behind the scenes deep dives. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Thomas Jefferson. I kicked the month off with Thomas Jefferson. I posted it on July 4th, which I probably I always post Saturday nights, and I probably should have posted it a couple days earlier because I kind of was like late to the party, but that's all right. It still did good. And I've always wanted to go to Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home. I've been to Mount Vernon, which is George Washington's home, 2 times. Nicole and I have been to John Adams' house. There's a few presidential stuff I've been to. Not that I'm a huge presidential guy, but I love like the old history, like the Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Hamilton, that whole like Revolutionary War thing, as well as like the Civil War era, you know, Lincoln and Grant and that whole thing. But yeah, I always wanted to go to Thomas Jefferson's home, Monticello, and it's like out there, man. It is like in the boonies of Virginia, out in the woods. It took me like 3 hours to get there from DC. Lots of traffic until you really got out there, but it's so cool. And just to see the inside of his room and everything and his house. And they said like it's basically set up the exact same way as it was when he was there. It was a cool time. Then I did the Health and Medicine Museum tour where we saw Lincoln's skull fragments and the bullet that was in him shot by John Wilkes Booth and some other creepy stuff in there. I had a comment in there that kind of made me laugh. This person said like, haha, every single YouTuber goes to that museum. And I'm like, okay, so I guess because everybody else has been there, I'm not allowed to go there and film. And there's just, I don't know, kind of made me laugh about that. There's one other, oh my God, there's one comment. I get, every YouTuber will get good comments, bad comments, neutral. But, you know, for some of the topics I cover, I get like pretty crappy comments most of the time. And like, it doesn't faze me at all anymore. But I got this one comment. Oh my gosh, it was on the week after Lincoln came out. I posted my Bobby Kennedy video. I went to Los Angeles to the old Ambassador Hotel location and did his grave in Arlington. And there was some guy who commented something along the lines of, God, it was like a paragraph long, but he was saying basically, because I wasn't alive during that time, I don't know anything, and I shouldn't be talking about this, and I shouldn't be doing this video because I wasn't alive and around when Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. So I'm like, okay, so most of the videos I cover on my channel are from stuff that has happened before I was born. So apparently I can't do anything anymore because this guy told me if I wasn't around back then, I shouldn't be talking or filming about it. Kind of made me laugh. I'm sorry. I know the comments are going on, just missed them. Faces of the Forgotten. Yeah, I follow Ron. Karen, how long ago was that though? Because you used to be able to go in there, and now they don't anymore because of all the graffiti and the crime and the destroying of stuff that happens in that part of, you know, basically New Orleans. So maybe that was before he got there, or maybe that happened. They started doing that after he got there. Jack the Ripper, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate all your comments. Big Don, exactly. That is my point. You know, it's so hard to, because there's so many YouTubers and it's very hard to do something that nobody has ever done before. Now, granted, I've found a lot of places and graves and stuff that has never been shown on YouTube, and I love when I can find a place like that. But it's rare, and it's hard to do that because it's like whatever you see, oh, somebody's already been there. Somebody's already been there. But yeah, everybody kind of puts their own take on it. So last week was the 9/11 video. My original plan was to make that and then post it like right before 9/11. Obviously, that would be the way to go because when it gets to be around that time, that's what people are searching. And I'm like, the video is going to do well then. However, I totally forgot my 8-part series goes all the way till like September 19th. So after 9/11, obviously. And I didn't want to put it out then. So I was like, oh man, I better put it out now. So that's why 9/11 showed up and somebody is at my door. Oh, UPS. I'm like, who the heck is walking to my door right now? They're calling somebody. UPS dropped off a package. Yeah, but the 9/11 thing, that was creepy, cool, sad, all the above. I think I did a good job on that. I got a lot of really nice comments. I think maybe I only got 1 or 2 not nice comments on that video, but that's all right. Most of them was very, nice to me. And I tried to do it as respectful as I could. But yeah, I wanted to get that out now before the series starts. I think I said this in that video, maybe, or another video. Out of all the places I've been, a place that I wanted to go to for years was I always wanted to go see Ground Zero in New York. And I don't know what draws me to there, but maybe because I do what I do on YouTube and that stuff interests me. I've always wanted to go to Ground Zero, but I've never been able to go there. There's so many times when we lived up in Pennsylvania, we were going to go and never happened. And then the year we really were going to go was the year of COVID. And then we moved to Texas. So I've never done that. I've never been to that 9/11 museum on site. But I want to go there. But I mentioned this, anybody who joined later, I mentioned this earlier in the video. I have been to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where Flight 93 went down. Unfortunately, I took that video off YouTube years ago because they didn't like what I originally put in there. Buck Hill Inn, no, never been there. Bradley, I hope everything goes well with your surgery, cataract surgery. Best wishes for you, man. My eyes suck, so I'm probably going to have to do that someday. Redo the Flight 93 video. Someday I will redo it. It's such a beautiful setup that they have there. Okay, moving on. Coming up this week, I've been talking about it for months, for weeks, to my members, to all y'all in the live chats. But my 8-part series is starting this Saturday, Too Young to Die. I'm so happy and excited for that. And, you know, I planned this like last year. I planned, Nicole and I were like in the kitchen and we were thinking of like, I was thinking like, I got to do a series on something. And I don't know if it was her or me who said something, but I was like, should do high level celebrities who all died young. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do people that died younger than 40. And they're all like big name celebrities. And I came up with the title Too Young to Die. And yeah, it should be pretty good. So we're kicking off Saturday with the Queen of Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe, going to see her death house, her locations throughout Los Angeles, and ending with her grave. And we have a bunch of really cool people coming up in that series. So I'm excited. As most of you know, I only post one video per week. So that series is going to run for the next 8 weeks straight. And it should be fun. And I said it's going to be in the show playlist that they, you know, how they have, like on YouTube, there's the playlist, right? But then there's a new feature show in the playlist. You'll see if you go on the app of what I mean. But what's cool about that is, you know, once I have like multiple videos out, and if you're either watching, it doesn't matter if you're on your phone, desktop, or your screen, it's literally like Netflix, where when episode 1 is done, it will just it will jump you right to episode 2, and then episode 3, then episode 4. And it's awesome, you know? And it's cool because it literally, I said this earlier, but it looks like Netflix, where it's like my Marilyn Monroe video is episode 1. So it says season 1, episode 1. And then it's like the death site and grave of Marilyn Monroe, or whatever I called it. And what's cool about this feature, you can also do seasons. So if I wanted to do a Too Young to Die part 2, maybe next year in 2027, I can make it season 2 on my channel. And like I said, that's just the way YouTube's going moving forward. That's how they want you to do things. So I'm excited for that. Thank you, Bennett the Cat. Forward to your 8-part series. 8-part series, Trobert, high-level celebrities, all died younger than 40. So as an example, episode 1 in my series is about Marilyn Monroe. Episode 2 is about Paul Walker, his crash site, his grave, Fast and the Furious locations. Episode 3 is going to be about Brittany Murphy and her tragic death and crazy stuff. And that's what the series is about. Charles, hi. Welcome. Jimi Hendrix, no, Karen, because he's buried in like the UK or something. So I know I'm not getting oh no, wait, Jimi Hendrix. No, he's buried in Seattle. I'm sorry. He's buried in Seattle. He died, I think, in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not in this series. Is that literally another person coming to my door? No. Weird. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to mention his name or anything, but I have a buddy who is basically in the same field as me, YouTuber on these platforms. And he has a decent following. And there's like, I guess he has like a Facebook account too. And he's like bigger in this, where people are making fake accounts. And they're basically, you know, phishing people. They're saying, hey, I'm so-and-so. I need money for this. And these spammers get the money, you know, from these people because they think it's him. And long story short, somebody sent his house address to one of these people, and he just made a video about it. But like, some person showed up at his house, and the crazy thing, it was an older woman. She was like in her 70s, and she really, in her mind, thought that she was my buddy's girlfriend. Showed up at the house. They're on like, she's on like the Ring camera. My buddy's wife is like talking through there, saying, like, why are you here? How'd you get this address? And she's like, I'm here to see so and so. I'm his girlfriend. And it was crazy, but it's kind of creepy, you know. People like just show up at your house. Yeah. Jim Morrison's buried in Paris. I saw his grave. God, he was one of my first videos. I don't even know if I have it up more. It was really bad. It was like before I was doing YouTube. My wife and I were on our honeymoon like 7 years ago. And I did a video on the grave of Jim Morrison. Did I get Robert Johnson on your Tune Today list? Not this one. So this specific 8-part series is only everybody's in Los Angeles. Everybody died in Los Angeles, buried in Los Angeles. So they're all there. I will do more stuff going forward, like kind of across country. I already have an idea next year for that. Bradley is waiting on an episode about the day the music died. Man, that is a future. That's a future series, and I'm not even joking. And it's actually it's not too hard for me to do, except get to the actual plane crash site, because that's up there in Iowa. I've been to Iowa before, but it's been years, and there's not much to film out there besides that. But like, I'm pretty sure the Big Bopper is buried here in Texas. Buddy Holly's buried here in Texas. Richie Valens is buried in California. Like, I go to Los Angeles quite often now, so that's not hard. The hardest thing is getting to the actual plane crash site and the ballroom where they had their last show. But that will be a future show, and I'm excited to do that, because nobody's done that. I'm sorry, I'm going 100 miles an hour. A lot of people have done videos at the Day the Music Died plane crash site. That's no secret. People have done videos on the ballroom and like the graves and stuff, but nobody's put it together in one series. So I want to be the first to do that. Bigger Red, of course you are. What's some Grant? Hi, Grant25. What's some bucket list videos you'd like to do? The list is never ending, and it keeps growing. My wife just threw a diaper over this one. Sorry. I have a 19-month-old baby girl. Diapers are flying around in this house. One of the things I really want to do is I want to go to the UK and go around London and that area and film a lot of stuff. I would love to. Grim Life Collective did a video years ago where they did a retracing of Jack the Ripper. I would love to do that. Basically like the same, just go to those real locations and retrace that. I'd love to do, and I've said this before in previous live streams, but one of the things I would love to do is do like a Princess Diana, retracing the final 24 hours of her life and go to like the hotel and then the crash site that's in like Paris and then go to her grave. I know where that is. And that's something I've been wanting to do. Night, big girl. Night, big girl. Baby girl's going to bed. Yeah, Dad's on a live stream. Shows Dad. So obviously there's a lot of US stuff I want to do, but for some reason the UK is like it's calling me. Oh, speaking, you guys were talking about Jim Morrison before. People have done it, but I don't care. I want to do it my own way. I want to go to Paris and retrace like the final days of Jim Morrison and go to like the place, obviously the place, his hotel room where he was staying at, where he died, his grave, but also like retrace his time there. Like, where did he go to eat? Where did he hang out? That whole thing. So I'd like to do a video on him. Thanks, Karen. It means a lot. I know you've been here for quite a while, so thank you. Bear, no, I've not. And you know what? That's another one. It's been highly covered, the John Lennon stuff. A buddy of mine, Scott on Tape, did one not that long ago, but like I've never seen it. And I would like for myself to go to the what's called the Dakota. Yeah, the Dakota Apartments in New York where John Lennon was shot, and tell that story. Go to where his ashes were scattered in the park right there, and like retrace his final 24 hours. Cause I know he started at the Dakota, then he went down and like to the one studio and recorded. I don't know what else he did and came back, but my wife and I love the Beatles. So that's been a thing, on a list for me for a while. My wife is really into the whole Anne Frank story. I actually did what was that? It was in last month in June. I did a video in June that I toured a Holocaust museum that we have here in Dallas, and there was some Anne Frank related stuff in there. Let me see. So we went through videos. We talked about the upcoming changes. I kind of talked about as far as YouTube's concerned, the 10-minute videos are pushing out the door. And that's just the way it's going to go. And I'm going to be interested to see how I make my videos going forward. Like Karen, you just said, fun to watch how you're always improving your videos. I got it to a point now where I'm like, I love how they're turning out. I love how I'm doing them. I think they're a good length, like anywhere from like 13 to 20 minutes. I think is perfect for like this cinematic storytelling that I'm going for. But now, YouTube wants a minimum of 20 minutes, and like my sweet spot, believe it or not, from YouTube, my sweet spot is going to be like 40 to 45-minute videos. So now I'm trying to, I don't know yet because I haven't been out filming in a minute, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do what I'm doing now and turn that into like a 45-minute thing without doing too much, like they call it fluff, where you're just like spending time on camera, like this, just talking to try and rack up minutes for a longer video. I don't want to do that. At the same time, you gotta, it's a 40-minute video is not just going to happen. You got to make it happen. Just like the same, I don't like to do like, and there's some YouTubers that do it. One of them I follow is like in my niche, but I don't like making it sound on video like I'm just reading a Wikipedia page because I just don't think people connect with that or care with that. But at the same time, you still need to put the facts and information in your video, or you're never going to get past 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see how my videos go coming up. But I have some really good, the rest of 2026 should be like really cool in terms of ideas and videos I have. Like I said, we're starting the 8-part series now, Too Young to Die. Then what am I doing after that? I don't even remember. I'm doing, I don't know what I'm going to call this. I asked my channel members this. Only one of them, I think, had an idea, a few ideas. But I'm coming up with a Halloween series for the month of October. And it's not like all directly related, but it's going to be like a 4-part Halloween related series where it's all like spooky stuff. And I already know like my episode 1 is going to be like, you guys know Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are like the people in the Conjuring series and the Conjuring movies and the Conjuring house and Annabelle and Amityville Horror. Ed and Lorraine Warren were at all these things. So I'm going to next month in August, I'm going to one of the houses. I'm not telling you which one. I'm going to one of the houses that they investigated. So that's going to be episode 1. Something Salem witch trial related is going to be episode 2. The story behind the 1973 movie, The Exorcist, the real inspiration for that's going to be like episode 3. So all spooky stuff in October. I just don't know what I'm going to call this series. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know your thoughts on that. It's 25 years since 9/11. That's crazy. It's just 25 years in general. Gosh, how old was I? I was 9. Yeah, I was 9 years old when that happened. Still remember, I was in 3rd grade, Mrs. Mascoenzel's class. I shouldn't laugh because it's bad, but just like everybody who was around back then, you just remember where you were and what you were doing. Even 9-year-old me still remembers. Karen says, I have a feeling YouTube's going to back down on long videos. People don't have time for longer videos. I don't know. Things are kind of changing. I think what YouTube wants to be the longer form videos to become is, like people who are just looking for the quick scroll, they go to TikTok or Instagram Reels, and that's what the YouTube Shorts are for. But YouTube videos and the long form, they really want it to be the new Netflix, and that's why they're pushing everyone to do these longer videos. So I don't know. Time will tell. Ed Gein, yeah. I have a whole story. Oh my gosh. I have an idea for a future series show. I don't know if you call them shows or series, because like YouTube is now calling them shows, but people I think know more so like what a series means. But I have an idea for a series that involves Ed Gein and his stuff in Wisconsin. Is it Gein or Gein? Because I've heard people say it's Ed Gein. I've heard other people, this guy in a documentary I was watching say Ed Gein. Who knows? I did a great job on Andrea Yates. That was, yeah, thank you. That was a very tough video. I have a hard time doing anything related with kids. I don't think I used to as much, but now that I have a daughter, kids stuff just really bothers me. There's also some weird stuff. In that video, there was some weird stuff that happened there. I mean, the house is famous in that neighborhood. The neighbors don't like you there. I had the neighbor who was directly across the street. They didn't say anything to me, but they were getting in their car. And there was like 3 of them just staring me down as I'm trying to film in front of the Andrea Yates house. And I was like, oh. So I think I like ran back. I didn't run, but I went back to my car, sat in there, waited till they left, and then I went back out filming. And then to continue that, when I'm at the cemetery in that area, everybody knows that story of Andrea Yates, and everybody knows where her 5 children are buried. So I'm at the cemetery filming, and the workers like have an eye on me. And I actually had a lady come over and say a bunch of stuff to me, like, "You're not doing this for commercial purposes, are you?" And I said no, even though technically YouTube is a commercial purpose, but I'm like, "No, I'm just filming for myself." Because she was like, if it's for commercial stuff, I cannot allow you to film this grave. And I'm like, that's what I do. I film graves. You know how many people film graves? So then that happened. And then to kick it off with the final thing that happened in that video is I'm filming, I'm going to get some like shots by the water. And I look, because this is like down the Houston area, Houston, Texas. And I look in the water and there's a friggin' crocodile like 7 feet away from me floating in the water. Scared the crap out of me. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting out of there. So yeah, that was an interesting video. Thank you for the Kennedy comment, Carolyn and John Jr. Probably not, only because they died at sea. They were buried at sea. So like, I can't, there's no really physical place for me to go. When I do videos, I always try to make sure they have somewhat of a grave. And if possible, if I can get to their death site, I'll do that. But yeah, John Jr.'s, there's not really much to do there. History Underground, man, I followed him for years. I've always loved his stuff, especially all his Gettysburg stuff. I've watched those series multiple times, but yes, he started doing the series a long time ago, before all this stuff that's going on now. And I think it served him well. But yeah, he's a cool guy. I've never met him though. Thanks, Big Red. Yeah, I don't know the Andrea Yates video. There was just so many things that were like coming up and stuff in there. I'm like, I don't know about this. Thanks, Karen. I try to be, and I usually say in my videos, and I know I said that in there, like I personally, for you guys and whoever else is going to watch this in the future, I'll say it on here. I hate, with a capital H, I hate going to private residences' homes and filming. But with what I do, if you want to get views and tell the story better, you have to. Like the days of, unless you like Faces of the Forgotten, he can just go to a grave talk and it'll be a good video with a lot of views because he has a big following. But kind of the days of just going to a grave, talking about it, showing it, and leaving are over. And you'll notice even when I do that, like the views aren't that great compared to a lot of my other videos. People want to see the multiple locations and stuff. And that's why, like, if I could ever get to a house where somebody died and do multiple locations in a video, I'll do that because it makes a better video and tells a better story. But with that being said, I still don't like it. In my 8-part series coming up, towards the end, I did one of the episodes is on Carl Switzer, who is the actor who played the original Alfalfa in The Little Rascals. And same thing. I went to his grave, but then I had to go to his house where he was shot. Not his house, but it was the house he was shot and killed in. And it wasn't in a great area. There was a guy who thought I was filming his house and came out and started yelling and stuff. And the funniest thing was I wasn't even filming his house. I was literally like with my camera, I was filming like this, except his house was behind me. So he thought I was actually filming his house when I was actually just filming me. Lo and behold, I was filming the house Carl Switzer died in across the street. But, and it's like there's cars there and people there. And like the last thing I would want is somebody filming my house. But at the same time, you got to know if you're going to buy a house where something tragic happened, especially with like in Hollywood, that the Los Angeles area with big actors and stuff, you got to know there's going to be people coming to your house for pictures and that. Bigger Red, I'm a crazy person, so they better watch out. Rob Reiner. I think Scott on Tape may have done Rob's grave or where he died. So I think he covered that one. True. That is true. Bradley says, what about Jordan the Lion? I followed, him and Adam the Woo were like two of the first guys I followed on YouTube like 9-10 years ago. I don't know. Jordan used to do, I don't know him personally, but he definitely used to do a lot more of the stuff that I do now, like the graves and the darker locations. And he kind of shifted over the years to more just like vlog style. Like he was doing for a while. He was just showing himself on cruises and stuff and things in here and there. And I think he's kind of trying to get back to where he was. But yeah, I followed Jordan for a while. I don't know him personally. JFK series, well done. Thank you. Yeah, I may redo some JFK stuff in the future, just like Bonnie and Clyde stuff in the future, and make them more like how I would film now and make them into actual like series and shows. And there's another video I have an idea of. It's Lee Harvey Oswald related. That I haven't covered, and I have to see about an interview. Actually, there's two possible like interview related videos like on site at these places. I don't know this woman, but a friend of mine does. There's a woman, I forget her name, and I probably wouldn't say it anyway, but there's a woman who still lives in the DFW area who was there on site when JFK was assassinated. And she's written books on what she thought happened. But I thought it would be cool to basically meet her there and have her talk about where she was that day and break it down. And I think she might be like 81, something like that. But I guess I just have to ask her because my buddy has her phone number. But it's an idea I had. Chris Watts. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I can Google it. I just don't know who that is. Skidmore, Missouri. No. What's in Skidmore, Missouri? I've been all throughout the state of Missouri, just not there. Deadly Not. Hi, welcome. Karen, that's so funny you said that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm running out of tea, but I have water. My throat's getting dry from talking this long. I normally don't talk this much because I'm just at home all day with my baby who just goes da 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 all day. Karen says, I wanted to talk about this. Karen says, I've noticed some YouTubers putting together their old videos and putting them out as long videos. And like for me, if I put all my Bonnie and Clyde videos together. So that is actually something that YouTube is recommending now. And my wife was like, is that, legal, like in YouTube monetization terms and YouTube policy for creators? And I said, well, YouTube is suggesting we do it. So, and I was like, man, I can go so many different ways with this because unless it's a big video, like my video that started the entire Travels with Nick Down the Dark History Path is my very original, filmed like 5 years ago, Bonnie and Clyde death site in their final day. I think that's almost, I don't know, 800,000 views. And it's still getting views like all these years later. But most of the videos stop getting views like after 2 years. And Karen, going back to your point about older videos, putting them together, I have an idea that I'm going to put out later this year. So I have a bunch of grave videos from that are about like 1930s, 20s, 40s Depression era gangsters. And a lot of those videos stopped getting views like years ago. And I was like, man, I have quite a few of them. I mean, there's Pretty Boy Floyd. I did his grave. That's been dead for how long? Stopped getting views years ago. I have Machine Gun Kelly. I have Al Capone stuff. I have Ma Barker and the Barker Gang. A lot of these videos don't get views anymore. And I was like, man, I could like redo this. Basically make it, YouTube calls it a compilation video or a marathon video. And I could make this into like a 1930s gangster, like 1 hour marathon thing. And that's what I'm going to do. And that will be out in the fall. But I think it's going to be like an hour plus video of all these different graves that I've covered on these things, put all the videos together into one. So Karen, that's a good point. Ted Bundy, I have some video ideas of him in Seattle. I know he has like Florida stuff, and I think there's like Utah stuff. I don't know about that, but I have some locations and ideas for him whenever I get back to Seattle. Mo Silver, I liked your Ozzie Harry and Rick Nelson video. Thank you. Yeah, I felt bad because I learned afterward that he like legally, something along the lines, Ricky Nelson legally changed his name to just be Rick or however. No. He told everybody he only wanted to be called Rick after a certain age instead of Ricky. And like that entire video, I called him Ricky, and I felt bad. And some people let me know in the comments. I didn't know. Yeah, that was a cool video to do. Yeah. So, does anybody else have any other? That's all I really wanted to say. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything you want to bring up or any other ideas? My brain has been going like nuts the past month because my YouTube analytics are not as good as they should be, not as good as they were since this April 2026 algorithm update. And I know it's not just me, everybody's going through this and it just sucks. So I've been like trying to figure out why this is happening for so long. What can I do to change it? And I know at the most basic thing, this is the new normal. And the only thing I can do to change my, to keep getting my videos pushed out is you got to make longer videos and you got to focus on the shows and the series. And that's where we're at. Part-Time Explorer, I think I've seen their channel come up now and then in my feed. One thing I'll say, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, I'm going to hop off then. But one thing I'll say, I see all the time in comments, and not just from my stuff, but other people who I watch. I see all the time, everybody says, man, your videos don't come up in my feed anymore in YouTube. And I get it all the time in the comments. I said other people get it. And folks, it's the reason that is because whatever you're currently watching, that's what YouTube is going to show you. And if you haven't watched a video of mine, even in like 3 weeks or even 2 weeks, they're not going to show you my stuff when I post a new video that comes out. The only way you can, and this is honest to God, this is the best way. People complain because they don't they subscribe and they don't see these channels they're subscribed to. But the easiest way to do that, most people, if I could show you this here, right? Most people go on YouTube. It's probably a little bit blurry. That's all right. Most people go on YouTube, right? And this is like the homepage when it comes up. This is actually most of the reason why the views aren't, because the tiles are so big now. There's so many videos and not so much room to have anymore. But anyway, if you just go on here, the home feed, they're just going to show you anything you have been watching, unless you watch a creator's like every upload. All you got to do to see your subscribers is come down here. There's a subscriptions button. Okay. Click the subscriptions button. And then all the channels that I'm subscribed to, all their videos come up. That's all you got to do. So if you're wondering why I'm subscribed to Travels with Nick, but I don't see his videos come up anymore, or I don't get notifications. That's true. YouTube, for whatever reason, is not sending out notifications like they used to. But I'm telling you, all you got to do is go on YouTube, go click on subscriptions tab at the bottom, and all the channels you're subscribed to, they all come up. That's how you find your Travels with Nick videos. Don't you know? Oh, man. Robert is from Australia. That's cool. I've had a few people from Australia dial in, and that amazes me. Thank you for being here. I have not done anything on Bon Scott. I've always been a big AC/DC fan. I do like Brian Johnson more than Bon Scott, but I haven't done anything on Bon Scott. Mark Twain's grave. That's funny. I just did my last trip last month in June. I just did Edgar Allan Poe's my Edgar Allan Poe video. So it's like his grave, death site, multiple locations, his house. I went to like 5 or 6 locations in that video. That's going to come out right before Halloween. But it made me think of Mark Twain. Like, man, I should do some Mark Twain stuff next. Robert, that's interesting. I've never even heard of Skidmore, Missouri, but thank you for letting me know. I'll have to look into that. Bradley, I don't have like too much really to film in Austin. So I don't know if I actually film. If anything, like it might be like my wife and baby girl and I come down to Austin just because we enjoy Austin. So you have to keep you posted. Maybe we could go for a coffee, or I don't know if you drink, but hey, I'm always down to go for a beer. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, Karen, the notifications thing is just, it is what it is. But like I said, if you click on the subscriptions tab, that's what I do. But most people will just go to the YouTube homepage. And honestly, most of the stuff that shows up on the YouTube homepage now is not anything that I'm subscribed to. It's just whatever YouTube thinks I'm going to like. Unless I like really watch specific channels, then it'll usually come up. All right, y'all. That was fun. I appreciate y'all so much. Me and the monsters. My 19-year-old daughter loves this one right here, Frankenstein, and she just calls him Boo. So she points at my shirt and goes, Boo. But she likes Frankenstein for whatever reason. Very fitting. This was fun, y'all. I'm going to head out, and I just appreciate y'all so much. I will catch you this Saturday when we start my all-new 8-part series, Too Young to Die. And when the videos come out multiple, I hope you, at the end of the day, I hope you binge watch. I don't know how I feel about saying that, but I hope you binge watch the series, episodes 1 through 8, once they're out. I appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for all the great comments. You guys have been fun. It doesn't feel like I'm just, hanging here on my own. I'm actually like getting to chat with y'all. But see you then. And as far as the next live stream goes, I do this at the end of every month. I think next month we're going to do it the 3rd week of August because I got something going on the week after. But I'll make a community post and let you know. Peace, guys. Thanks. Everyone have a good night, and I will see you in the next one.